Professor's got a big board tomorrow.
The biggest, stupidest thing of the week, which is NBA, the big one on PS5 and Xbox and whatever, was released. They released a WNBA version, and Angel Reese is on the cover. Now, I don't know about you guys and how much you play video games, but I actually played this game with the kid last night, and we had to play a game to 11 like you would at
you were playing WNBA video games?
Oh, my God.
We had to play the version to 11 like the rec league game because we didn't have time to start like a season. And playing Angel Reese as a WNBA character, game to 11, it took us 4.5 hours before 11 playing Angel Reese WNBA game. I played the Angel Reese team. I was 9 of 75 on the floor, and that was a good shooting night.
Did they show an actual ball or just a brick on the video game? I would imagine
He just has a brick.
Just depicted as a brick. Yeah.
The time.
Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
All right. Welcome to the show. Peel yourself off the mat Monday edition of the Defo Show. We have Mike Lubie Lubitz, and I'm Jeff DeForest, and we're happy to have you guys with us. The line drive brick was always one of the weirdest shots. And one of my favorite shooters of all time, of course, was the microwave. Vinnie Johnson used to come off the bench as a sixth man for the Bad Boy Pistons, and his job was, as was often the case with sixth men, just light it up. And as soon as you get in there, start pushing the scoring, and he would shoot kind of a line drive, but he made a lot of them. But the line drive brick, Lubie, is a particularly ugly shot. And your only thing that you could think of when you realize that Angel Reese was on the cover of the video game representing the WNBA was that they couldn't pay Caitlin Clark enough to take a picture. What do you think? As evidenced by the fact that the WNBA All-Star Game, I'm sure our friend Jim Sarney will appreciate that we're beginning with that of all things, but not necessarily in any kind of disparaging fashion. It's just interesting because I had that interview, and some clips are posted all over the place on Bleacher Brothers with Christine Brennan. Fascinating. I mean, she's great. I don't know if when was the last time we spoke with Christine Brennan together, Lou? Because wow, she's terrific at analyzing this stuff. And she pulled a Feinstein, kind of a season on the brink in reverse, where everything was going swimmingly for Caitlin Clark for the most part, except she was getting her teeth knocked in by every player. She was being routinely ripped. Her biggest adversary, of course, was Angel Reese, although they claim to be friends, which I find a little strange. Do you believe that they're actually have a good relationship off the court as opposed to what's represented on the court, where it's like Durant and Leonard now seem to like each other? But I don't know. I find that one a tough one because they really went after each other as collegians, did they not? And then Angel Reese comes into the league, and she's with a terrible team. Caitlin Clark was able to elevate the Indiana Fever to new levels. And let's face it, who's the star of the league? Lubie, if you look at what happened, ticket prices for the WNBA All-Star Game. How about this for some research here, Lubie? How deep do we go into the world of sports? What the bleep is this guy talking about? No, ticket prices, I checked this out before the show today. Ticket prices plummeted. I wanted to see the impact because Christine's book is about Caitlin Clark and, of course, her impact on the WNBA, college basketball, women's basketball in general. And a lot of our conversation on Bleacher Brothers concerned the fact that for whatever reason, these players really resent her. And it makes no sense because she doesn't seem like somebody that would evoke that type of reaction, does she? I mean, I understand when she was doing the finger wave, and I'm not a fan of that. You know, I'm not a big showboating fan, that kind of thing. I mean, I'm more along the lines of Barry Sanders. Act like you've been there before, right? You get to the end zone. Do you need to go into some kind of Gastineau sack dance? No, just hand the ref the ball, go out, play the next play. If you're clobbering a team, you don't need to rub it in their face. If it's a nail-tight game, you don't need to react to anything. Just play your game and see what you can do. And if you lose, be gracious enough afterwards to realize you gave it everything you had and you still got beat. There's nothing wrong with any of that. So that being said, the whole business, Caitlin Clark was a bit of an instigator, was she not? When she was with playing college ball and at Idaho, right? Well, was that it? Idaho.
Iowa. She was at
Iowa,
Iowa.
Iowa. Yeah, I know it was one of those lame states. Anyway, how did I not know that? I mean, you see,
I know Iowa has a basketball pass, and I know Idaho does not.
I was blanking on which state with an I it was. I kept thinking about a big giant baked potato, but yeah, I mean, she really put women's college basketball. It was already on the map, I think, to a much larger degree than the WNBA. Is that a fair statement? People are inclined to get more involved in women's college basketball, maybe with allegiance to teams or whatever. There really isn't that in the WNBA. Are there rabid fans of certain teams? I would suppose it's kind of like, again, referencing my good buddy Eddie Kaplan, who always had a lot of valid points. He said, when the Marlins attendance was looking like somebody had called in a bomb scare right before the game. And his thought was, it's not that the Marlins don't have loyal fans. They do. They just don't have a lot of them.
Yes, that's what it is. Yes, 100% true.
That's kind of how I perceive teams in the WNBA. I mean, when the Miami Soul were in action, did anybody know what was going on?
Oh, no.
And they pushed that pretty hard, the Miami Heat. And the Heat are a good organization in that regard. They know how to get the word out there. And they usually will find themselves perceived, for the most part, in a favorable light. But anyway, back to the point. The impact of Caitlin Clark and Christine Brennan's book, enormous. Ticket prices plummeted by 50% when it was learned that she would not be playing in the All-Star game.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Get in for like $60 to the WNBA All-Star game. The prices before that were in the $120 range. And we all know that when she was missing in action there for the few weeks, I guess she's missed like 11 games or something. During the period of time where she was out, and she's still out with a groin injury, which apparently she re-aggravated in the back. And unfortunately for the league, because their television viewership dropped by 50% also during the time that she was out. Now, and she's not on every game, so that's league wide.
Yeah.
So pretty impactful stuff. But the idea of Angel Reese being on the cover of the video game, does it not seem like it's misguided?
I mean, you could do the dual thing. They've had that before, or have different. They do multiple. Sometimes they'll do multiple covers, where they'll have 2 or 3 different athletes on different covers. I mean,
a lot of swing and misses, though. I mean, what was Jazz Chisholm doing on the cover of the?
He was fun and upcoming. I mean, he hadn't even proven anything at that point. He still hasn't proven anything, even in bench stripes.
Yeah, no, it's not as if Angel Reese isn't doing some significant things. She's leading the doubles. Yeah. Maybe she's improved her scoring efficiency.
I don't know if the shot's gotten better, but I know she's scoring more.
Seems to me, yeah. Because she's going to get her share of rebounds, and now has a sneaker that is named like the Me-Bound or something.
Oh, Jesus.
Angel Reese. Look, nothing against her. I don't know her at all. I mean, she seems like she's a very accomplished athlete. Just a bricklayer, and I don't think there's any denying that. Line drive brick. That's the worst shot, isn't it, Lubie? I mean, how many of those have you launched in your lifetime? The line drive brick, where the elbow goes flying out there, and it snaps off. It's a line drive. It's a real piece of crap. Has no chance of going in, and you're just worried that anybody who's under the basket doing their noble trench work, lunch pail on the baseline type of rebounding, that there's a good chance that they're going to get hit in the head. Obligated to call out brick. All right, many things happening over the weekend. The professor spotted this very early on. If you go back to Friday's show, where the professor was on with us, another sensational edition of the Big Board, of course, with ways to ramp up the All-Star game and better ways to decide it than the 3-swing home run playoff or face-off or whatever you want to call it, a shootout. And home run derby.
Call it a swing off. I don't know if that's better.
That sounds a little kinky to me, the swing off.
100%.
What was that swinger's place? Is that still around there? Isn't that out by you somewhere out west?
I don't know.
What was the name of that place?
We're not there. We're not. I married 15 to 20 years where we are exploring. Maybe one day.
I always found it uncomfortable when people would suggest that we go there.
100%. I've never been. Was it Ball and Chain? I know there was something called Ball and Chain.
No, it wasn't any kind of evil name. Yeah,
there was something else. I don't know. I've never been to any of them.
And he says it was Trapeze. No, Brian has it. It was Deanie's Hideaway, I believe.
Oh, okay. Okay, because there's a trapeze. Well, trapeze exists now in ball and chain. I've only heard this because I've heard people talk about these things. I don't judge those that go. I've never been.
Well, when another couple suggests you go to Deanie's Hideaway for a couple of cocktails, before they go to happy hour, what are they really asking you to do? That's the question, Mr. Trump.
I mean,
Can you just answer? Give us a yes or no on that. Then that'd be great.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, over the weekend, look, the professor spotted this, and he was right on. He said Scottie Scheffler will win the Open by open links because of the fact that on the Thursday opening round, he shot 3 under par, hitting 3 of 14 fairways that he was trying to hit. 3 out of 14. So if he was going to be able to shoot 3 under par while missing the fairway on virtually every drive, every tee shot, then he was going to master that, clean that up, and once he did, bang, zoom to the moon, Alice, and that was it. So where does that leave us with this guy? Now, here is the oddball thing, because we've been condemning anybody, and it's quick to, it's a quick rush to judgment to accuse somebody who's at a racetrack of being a losing, chalk-playing dog of a human being. But Scottie Scheffler naturally was the chalk in this thing, but not at the usual sub 3-1, Lubie, because of the oddball nature of the Open and the fact that you have all these nondescript European schminks. By the way, both of my Hogard guys
they hung in.
Spit the bid. I don't know. Did Nikolai finish in the top 20? If he did, I cash a small ticket on that. But otherwise, I was afraid to look. I didn't look at the final standings there, but it wasn't going to bring me back a ton of money because top 20, I believe, though, he was.
And Hogard finished tied 14th.
R or an N?
N.
Oh,
Hogard finished tied 14th. I told you they hung around the whole tournament.
Yeah.
And
he was 13-1 too to be in the top 10. So that's a tough one.
Oh, you were close. Oh, yeah. And it's only because the next slot was 10th. He was one shot behind 10th.
See, now that's a good golf bet, right? You don't have to win it. It's hard to find a winner. Let's face it. How many times out of every golf tournament, unless you're playing Scheffler, are you going to actually have the winner? Could you have had J.J. Spawn in the U.S. Open? I don't think so. Scheffler showed signs. I mean, early in the year, remember he came back. He had that weird hand injury. It was almost like an O.J. Simpson thing, the way he cut his hand. Well, yeah, I was changing an ashtray in the hotel room. Yeah, sure, O.J. It looked more like a stab wound to me, you fool. But and that was a lame excuse. But I'm assuming that what Scheffler said happened was legitimate, where he was trying to cut a piece of pastrami with a wine glass. What was he doing? What was this guy thinking? Does he have no other aptitude for anything except playing golf, Scottie Scheffler? Although he's showing a little more personality lately. Have you noticed that, Lubie? I don't know. Can we put him in the category of being one of those nondescript, just complete golf stiffs that fits the mold of virtually everybody? Now, he's taller than a lot of golfers. He's a little bit more broad in the shoulder area than some golfers. Not talking about DeChambeau, who was on the juice for so many years, but he's not the prototype that you would see where they all look like. You've been to golf tournaments, right? Where you can't identify one pro from the other because they all look the same. They got the tan slacks, they got the white shirt on, they're perfectly groomed. Look like they just had like a pedicure as they come out there and put the glove on and start just gently hitting a few irons, out there, lofting a couple of wedges to the short green on a practice range. And you're looking going, who the hell is that, man?
Yeah.
I think that's Freddie Couples. No, it ain't Couples. He's got great hair. But you can identify Scottie Scheffler. Would you say, is it fair to say he's showing more personality than he has in the past, Lubie?
Yeah.
It's not overwhelming or anything. It's not like all of a sudden he's going to replace Don Rickles in the history of comedy. But, he seems to be saying more. He's actually revealing stuff about himself, which made it sound like he was about to commit suicide, didn't it?
No, jeez.
Well, I don't know about this. Come on, Scotty, wake up. But where does that leave us with this guy? How old is he? Is he like 27? Is he not that old, right?
Scheffler.
Doesn't he look like he's in his mid-30s? How old is Scottie Scheffler? 4 majors now, 4 slams, or 4 majors, as they would call them in golf. Slams would be tennis. And 2 this year. 29?
29.
Okay, so Tiger was doing this when he was 19.
Yeah. But still, I mean, for him to be this established and continue it, we haven't had anyone since Tiger, like Jordan Spieth and all these other guys that seemed that they were going to make consistent runs. Didn't. He's done it now for a few years, and he's still not
Yes.
even 30.
And he seems to be getting better, which is really weird.
Yeah. And he's like you said, he's opening up a little bit. He's getting more comfortable.
I
which
mean,
would be
what
nice.
a blowout this was.
Yeah, he
He
pulled away.
got to the second day and just destroyed this course, which looks more like it was devised by some. It looks like a Rube Goldberg thing from the old days, where he used to, have a ball rolling, it would hit some dominoes, they would fall, that would light a fire. Remember those things that he used to do?
Mhm.
Not Hank Goldberg, but Rube Goldberg. And yeah, I mean that course was insane. Could you imagine the average hacker playing a links course?
Oh God.
I've done it once, but there was a links course they put up at some resort in Orlando. And I was invited, courtesy of the radio station, to be one of the people that attended the inaugural week. And they let us all go out there and play. They had a beautiful resort. It was absolutely fantastic. Great accommodations. And if you were one of these guys like Gurgles that likes to go with a bunch of guys on a golf trip, this was the place. It was great. And then one of the courses they had was a links course, which naturally I gravitated towards because, as you know, Louis, one of my favorite things about it is a grounder is a good shot. And I was hitting a lot of balls into the dirt, let's face it. Anything could happen. The sculling line drive was a good shot there, where you absolutely cone one and it goes off. You know how it goes off like the heel of the club and it starts way to the left and then zings like a boomerang to the right. And is spinning out of control, but somehow on a links course, it gets stopped by a huge pile of rough that has been untrimmed for the last 20 centuries. But yeah, it would be, an interesting run, though, for the average hacker. What do you think, Libby? Those fairways were a little too tight, where you have to hit a ball 300 yards and you've got maybe a 10-yard wide landing area where it's going to be good. And if you can hit it there, you're in great shape. But if you can't, you're bleeped. What do you think, Libby? Would you enjoy playing a links course with your game? What, Mom?
Oh yes, you've seen my game. A grounder to the green is my only way to the green.
It really is. Yeah. Should have got my video.
Like, are you kidding me? I dreamed to play a links course.
That was funny when you were briefly
I started
playing.
running.
Didn't you play with Bill Lindsay, the Panthers announcer? I
I
think
was
he was
playing
in your group.
Probably. I did, and then I
Was he the
started
guy that
running.
was yelling, "Run it out! Run it out!"
Start running. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
You're like Quan and the All-Star.
Grounder. Like, what? That's what you do when you hit a grounder.
The chopper to third base. Yeah, exactly.
Played a lot of baseball in my life. I'm sorry.
Well, that was an impediment to being a good golfer, having a baseball swing.
Exactly. Honestly, yes.
Yeah. And even the baseball grip. I mean, you would go out there and it was too weird in the beginning to interlock fingers, wasn't it, Lubie? So you would just take the baseball grip, and that was counterproductive to any chance, even the most remote semblance of a chance you had of ever being a good golfer was to start out thinking, hey, this is just like baseball. It's not. But anyway, where do we put Scheffler now? 29 years old. Won two majors this year, the last two, and you could see that he wasn't that far off form when he came back from the O.J. Simpson cut incident, because he came back into play after the season was already underway, right? I don't know that he plays the Hawaiian tournaments at the beginning of the year, and then they end up in like L.A. and San Diego. I guess San Diego is first. Torrey Pines, right? They always have a tournament there. The January schedule is what? That's all Hawaiian. In February, they get into being in California, and they traipse their way across the country and get involved here on the Florida spin. But you could see that Scheffler was already pretty much in form, even though he wasn't winning earlier this season. He was always in contention. So you thought, wow, okay, he's going to get it right back. But has he just far and away exceeded anything that anybody else is capable of? Well, what do you think, Libby? I mean,
Yes.
clearly the best in the world, but
Look, he's not Tiger where he's automatic. Like, you're not going to just assume he's going to win. But his odds are going to be the kind of things where it's hard. Like this tournament, you got better odds than normal. It's still
almost 6-1 on this guy. I think it was plus 575.
I mean, those are nice odds for a guy that is the overwhelming favorite in most tournaments. But again, like you guys talked about, the Open's just a different animal. It worked out where the course was was clean, and he had from Saturday on or Friday on actually because we talked. It was Thursday where
Friday he shot 7 under, I think, 64.
Friday on he just torched it.
Yeah.
And look, he's a guy. He's going to set the pace. I don't know if he's going to be Tiger level of dominant, but he's the most dominant we've had in
what
the
Tiger
PGA
end up with 15 majors. Tiger was a few behind, and he stayed there forever. He was unable to crack through, and then he won that Masters that year, which nobody was anticipating.
Yeah, it's 15.
15 majors, yeah. All right, so he's 11 behind. That's going to be a tough number to make up. Even if he won 2 a year for the next 5 years, he's still at 14, and he would be. Well, I mean, where's a golfer's prime? A golfer in his 30s is just fine, is he not? Are there any young, sharp guys? I mean, there are more people, obviously. Every year you get new guys coming in there that are capable of lighting it up. Everybody's waiting for this Ludwig Oberg to break through, but he hasn't gotten to the point yet where you're thinking, oh, my God, this guy's scary good. Who's out there that's going to challenge this guy? Because even the guys on the scene today, he seems to be. We were talking about Alcaraz and Sinner in men's tennis. Even though they may not win every time, that this guy seems to have at least a reasonable gap of separation between him and the next player.
Yes.
Live Tour guys have lost all their desire. I mean, the money is just shoved so far up their rear end that they're all starting to wear turbans around. And it's crazy, how the Saudi money seemed to ruin a lot of these guys. DeChambeau still remains competitive. And you know what surprises me, Lubie? He's wildly popular around the world.
That's so funny.
What, wasn't he despised?
He's a scum.
He was such a maniac, and everybody thought he was flat out of his mind. And then he was doing all the steroids. All of a sudden, he looked like Hulk Hogan out there. And he would say a lot of bizarre things. He was kind of like Kyrie Irving with a wedge. No, DeChambeau, in terms of public perception, everybody thought the guy was just.
Yeah, he was tanning. Well, he was on roids, and we had like roid rage. Like the guy was off kilter, but he hangs around. He does it more than, like you said, the Live Tour guys are nowhere to be found.
Brooks Koepka finished.
Where's Koepka? Where's
DJ finished?
Like Johnson. Like these guys were.
Is there or thereabouts, but nothing special, right? Is he any big threat anymore? This guy was a monster who was about to take over golf. Scheffler would never exist if Rahm had just kept going at the pace that he was going.
Always flirting with stuff. Yeah, like none of these guys even compete. I mean, I guess if you make again hundreds of millions of dollars,
don't give a flying one. Don't. I mean, they're out there. They're too over par. They're smoking a cigarette and having a good time. Not even a cigarette. They're smoking a joint out there.
They don't even care.
You know, Dustin Johnson is doing a half. I'm Koepka. They're doing blow together in the Portishead by 16. Incredible. But it doesn't seem like they care anymore. I know they've been competitive in a couple of the major tournaments. Koepka did win a couple, but he appears to be far away from where he was when he was coming on like gangbusters. This was a guy you thought, because of his ability to sustain whatever mental focus it took to win these majors, he seemed like he was destined maybe to be a threat to Tiger Woods. And I don't know about Big Jack, that the 18. If Tiger couldn't get past Big Jack, nobody's ever going to do it. No. I mean, not in my lifetime, which unfortunately is, your days are numbered. It's like being on the list for A Clockwork Orange. Your name was mentioned. Yes. But a tribute, then, you have to just salute the guy, whether you like him or not. And there's not really that many reasons to dislike him. I know the professor has issues with Scottie Scheffler. I mean, he's not somebody that you could despise because he's, some vile piece of crap when it comes to treatment of people. Seems to be fine. He almost seems like a reluctant guy to be in that spot. But where does that leave us, Lubie, with Scottie Scheffler all time? He's still far away from the kind of accomplishments that some golfers had. Do you take into account different era? I mean, Tiger was kind of playing in this era, and yet, I mean, he was able to dominate from the moment he came on the tour. Where was Scottie Scheffler at like 5-6 years ago? I have to look up his life.
Yeah, I mean, he was a young dude just coming on the scene.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was 29. I thought he was like 26 or 7 maybe. But still many years to go in his prime, so we'll see what happens. He would have to win 2 majors a year for the next, how many years? If he's got 4, he's got to hit 14 more to tie Big Jack. 2 majors a year for the next 7 years. Is that doable?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't
That's a
know.
lot. Like, I mean, the way it works, even Tiger wasn't eating two every year.
Be interesting if he continues to do this because there was no reason to suspect that he's going to have any drop off. If anything, he's playing his best lights out golf of his career right now.
Yep.
After overcoming this strange, bizarre, as we said, O.J. Simpson like accident with a glass. When was the last time you cut yourself with a glass, Libby?
Oh God,
Sucks, doesn't it? Right? I mean, it's worse than a paper cut.
it's just annoying.
Just keeps bleeding and bleeding. All of a sudden, you're thinking, "Hey, Ma, you didn't tell me I was a hemophiliac. For God's sake, I can't stop the bleeding." I feel like Arturo Gotti. There's a lot of boxing over the weekend. Manny Pacquiao in his comeback. I didn't see the entire fight. I saw some highlights, and many people thought, believe it or not, that Manny got robbed in the decision. Robbed. I don't know that this was Timothy Bradley had another horrible decision go against him with a guy in Australia named Jeff Horn late in his career, and that might have been his last fight before this one. But I think he might have been involved in one other fight after that. But 4 years out of the ring, made a pretty good account of himself. It wasn't like it was a stiff, Loopy. Most people thought it was somewhat entertaining. Maybe not the same guy. This guy Usyk, I don't know if you're familiar with him. Alexander Usyk, the Ukrainian heavyweight. He just keeps knocking guys out. I don't know. I mean, he's never going to get the attention probably that should be coming his way. But he has emerged as far and away the best of any of these guys that are around today. Although some of them, like Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, has already been exposed as having a bit of a glass jaw. But there was a thought there for a while that there was going to be a fairly competent and exciting bunch of heavyweights trading off victories. And this guy Usyk just smokes them all. So he scored a big knockout over the weekend. And your man, the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, who was supposed to fight our guy, Xander Zayas, who we've had on our shows, and hails here from South Florida, is trained by, managed by, rather, Peter Kahn, who has a lot of fighters, and was turned on to him by Brett Tessler, the agent to the stars. He's a star in his own right, this Peter Kahn. Xander's got a title fight coming up for a vacant title, WBO title, July 26th. So what would that be? Saturday, coming up Saturday night in
Saturday. It's a Saturday.
Going to be fighting at Madison Square Garden. He was supposed to get a mandatory with Fundora, but somehow they circumvented that, maybe with a little bit of under-the-table cash. And Fundora was in there against Tim Zhu, the son of Costa Zhu, who he had beaten badly, although a lot of that came about because of an incredible stream of blood that was coming from Zhu because of a headbutt. No, he got elbowed in the head. And didn't stop the fight. Could have just sat down. He didn't. The guy's a pretty tough cat. But this Fundora ended up knocking out Tim Zhu. So there's a possibility, I'm thinking, that we will see that fight between Xander Zayas, who I think is great. I'm curious to see how he performs. I think he'll win this title. And then that would be interesting to have a unification bout with the Towering Inferno. This guy's like 6'5", and he's a 154-pounder, Libby. He might even be taller than that. Skinny as a rail, right? You would never think this guy could knock out. Looks like he couldn't break an egg with either hand.
Yeah.
And scored more than his share, a high percentage of knockouts, and is a real cool kid, too. So that'll be a battle of two nice guys if it takes place. But Pacquiao back on the scene. I'm thinking he fights again, Louis. I don't know if you saw anything about it, but they ended up calling it a draw.
I saw it being advertised, and I was like, when is this fight? As sad as this is, I would actually watch this. I didn't realize it was this weekend. Like, I saw it pop up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was this weekend.
It's part of a pretty good card. The Sheik, it says no more pay-per-view. That he says pay-per-view is ruining or has ruined the boxing business model. Okay. And I actually thought, well, wait a minute. If there's no more pay-per-view, I had Amazon, where this fight was being aired on their pay-per-view system. And I thought, well, let me see. Maybe this thing is free because they had a pretty good card with, good fights on the undercard. And $80.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't bring myself to do it. Another 80. No. Would you pay 80 to watch some fights on TV?
After the Pacquiao Mayweather, I said I would never pay for a fight again. And I have not. And that was...
Yeah, me either.
Years ago. That was literally the fight that broke me. We used to pay for every fight. Either it was a group of us, or myself, or we would take turns. And we got real excited. And they danced for... I think I went to the cards, right? They danced for the entire fight. And then you found out he had one arm, and
He was like the one-armed man in The
It
Fugitive.
was like, all right, I'm done. Like, and because then, yeah, exactly. And then you had another like 3 years of stupid Mayweather fights, and then you had 5 years of stupid, or 4 years of Canelo fights.
Marquez was a brick. Mayweather Canelo was a brick.
Yeah, and all the Canelo fights. Like, I'm glad I haven't paid for any of these fights.
Oh no, Canelo, it's a shame, really, because the guy's got talent.
Yeah, he pulled a
He just
Mayweather.
keeps digging up these stiffs. I mean, it's insane. Although he's fighting Terrence Crawford, which is
Yeah.
going to generate a lot of discussion in the boxing circles. It already has. I really, at this point, that's in September, so we have some time to think about this, but I don't know what to make of it. You would naturally be inclined to think that the bigger man wins because Crawford's moving up 2 divisions to fight at 168 pounds. That's a significant jump when you're going up from 154 to 168. All of a sudden, you're fighting a much bigger man. And Canelo, can take punches. It's not like he is incapable of surviving a bunch of shots that he gets hit with. But so my lean would be Canelo. But Crawford's, in reality, a much more clever fighter than Canelo Alvarez is. We shall see. I don't know. Canelo hits with those body shots. We'll see if Crawford's ever sustained anything like that. Knock on Crawford has always been that his competition level was leaving much to be desired.
Yeah, same thing as Canelo.
Yeah. Well, Canelo's fought a couple of good guys, and actually he lost to Bivol when he moved up and weighed himself. So it goes to show you that even Canelo, with the steroids and the tainted meat. How is it that every fighter, and this guy Reynoso, who is the trainer for Canelo Alvarez, he has a few other fighters of significance in his stable, every one of them is tested positive.
Exactly.
Does that arouse some kind of suspicion about the guy? Would you think one of these boxing organizations would say, maybe we ought to look into that? When I got Victor Conti in the corner there and Jose is the advisor, get the hell out of here. All right, a lot more to talk about. Some Major League Baseball. The Marlins still playing some tough ball. Last night, they almost came back from the grave, down 7-0 in the 9th inning. They literally were a threat with 2 away. Had the tying run come to the plate, believe it or not. They score 4 runs. They had first and third, and I think 2 away. And the guy that was up before Stowers, Stowers was in the on-deck circle. He's been heroic. Ends up hitting a pop fly to left field. But the Royals had to bring in their closer after they had this kid with like a really weird hairdo who was on the mound before that. And he looked like he was shell-shocked. Whoever this reliever was that pitched the beginning of the 9th inning for the Kansas City Royals yesterday. But the Marlins did take 2 out of 3, and they took those games in dramatic fashion, almost pulled off another miracle, and now sit, Lubie. Can you believe this? 6 games under 500. 6 under 500.
I know.
Pretty remarkable. Bunch of other stuff going on in baseball, some NFL developments as well. And we will come back and talk about all of that in a moment. Now that. I don't know if we're going to talk about all of it. How much can you get into the injuries along the Detroit Lions defensive line? Is a little premature evaluation on that, although one of their guys, their starters, is out for the season already. They have been decimated by injuries, huh, the Lions?
Every time they feel like they're coming along,
wow,
the Hudson thing punched them in the stomach. This isn't going to help them either.
Does he travel around under the cloud of a very dark and sinister curse? This guy is weird because he seems like he would be somebody that'd be able to overcome that stuff. Back in a moment. Now that. Are people jonesing for football already? Are you?
Yes, we are.
What are we, 6 weeks away? It's 8:36.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously. Friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched, steaks hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Recently realized.
You can't fake caring. Women can sense this immediately. You don't really care. You didn't really want to do any of this.
We now return to the Defo Show.
What difference does it make what your motives were, Louis, if you've actually gone through with the event? What do you think? You didn't want to visit my parents, but I'm here.
Yeah, but that's what I always thought. Like, women are very big on that. Like, who cares?
Very big on intent. Yeah,
if she does what I want, I don't care why she did it.
Good intentions don't necessarily lead to good actions. Not always.
Gives a crap.
You have the best of intentions.
We're here. Like, who cares how we got here?
All right. So what do you make of this, Lubie? The NFL, I know they have their rough spots. They like to smooth it right over there with Roger Goodell. Everything is okay. Everything is wonderful. I don't know where we're getting that from, huh? Does that sound familiar? That whole act? Hey, well, look, everything's great. It's incredible. The Lions, though, they lose this guy. I'm going to give this a shot here, and I don't know if I can even come close to reading my own writing, which I actually took the time, Lubie, to say, make sure you make this legible to Forrest so that when you get on the show and you have to say this guy's name, you're not sitting there saying that it's Herman Schwartz that got hurt and is out for the season. Levi Onwuzurike. Onwuzurike. How do you pronounce that? Onwuzurike. Is that even close? That can't be. That sounds phonetic, doesn't it? How do we say this guy's name? Levi Onwuzurike. All right, we're going to go with that for now because we don't have.
God, I don't. Yeah,
He was a starting defensive tackle for the Lions, out for the season. I don't know if he injured himself already in training camp, or they just discovered that he had a torn ACL. How did that come about? They didn't have any details on how he got hurt. Just had a long explanation about how this guy Shepard, who's come in as the defensive coordinator, is dealing with the fact that they're already badly depleted, Lubie, because the backup interior defensive lineman for the Lions, one of the guys that would have been more than, I guess he would have been first in line to replace this cat, is on the physically unable to perform list, a list that you would never want to find yourself on.
No, especially before the season, right when the season's about to start.
Before the season, especially before you're about to have sex with a girl that you've been coveting for many dates. Finally get to the point where you're ready to do something about this, and physically unable to perform is an ugly designation, the PUP. Nobody wants to be on that list.
No, Nope.
Pup. All right, so they're down there. Last year, how many of their guys got hurt? It seemed like everybody on the defensive side. They had some monster, important starting players that were out of the lineup, and they still made a favorable showing for the season. So you're thinking these poor slobs are knocking on the door, and they just can't catch a break. This guy out for the year already. Onwuzurike. You dropped down there, Lubie. What happened to you? And that's with the Detroit Lions. Rashee Rice. It pays to have money, doesn't it? That's what you have to assume. I don't know if this happens to anybody else. Are you there, Lubie?
I'm here. I don't know what's happening. Can you hear me? I don't know what's going on.
I can hear you, yeah, but we can't see you anymore. But and I am now dominating the screen, which scares the living daylights out of me. But okay, so Rashee Rice. What did you think about this? He gets 30 days in jail. And no doubt had to compensate these victims who incurred serious injuries. Reckless driving. Apparently, he was not impaired. He was just doing this because he was having a good time on some Dallas highway. And he ended up really hurting some people badly because he's driving irresponsibly at 120 miles an hour. And this ends up causing serious injury, I believe, very serious injury to 2 of the 4 people who were hurt, and also 2 other people were badly compromised. Pays everybody off and gets a 30-day jail sentence. What do you think? And now the NFL are probably going to suspend him. I don't know how many games. It's always interesting to me where a guy is found guilty of some kind of sexual battery, and everybody's trying to, well, how many games is that?
Yeah, that's what you're worried about.
It's horrible. That's how many games it is. It's virtually unforgivable. I mean, yeah, sure. Does everybody deserve a second chance? Actually, speaking of Rice, if you look at Ray Rice and his spouse, I mean, that story's kind of been buried, and it seemed like it was buried with the concept that they weren't. They found a way to overcome the horrible, ugly nature of the video that had everybody, rightfully so, completely horrified by Ray Rice's behavior. But they seemed to approach the comeback. I don't know. Did you believe the sincerity of when they were on all of these shows? Ray Rice and I forget his wife's name, but it seemed like a credible thing where they found a way to find some kind of eternal peace with each other. Are they still together, Louie? I don't even know. No, I think they are.
I think they're still together.
Yeah.
He apologized. She accepted it. He had no past issues with this, and he's had no issues since. Okay, but that's not.
Who literally could kick a woman while they're on the floor besides?
That's the thing. That's not the norm. The
so
extent
disgusting. It's seemingly unforgivable. I would imagine even if she forgave him for doing this and realized, okay, the guy in general is a good guy. Let's look at his overall body of work as a human being. He clearly out of control in this incident, and just a disgusting display of lack of control and whatever. But I mean, wouldn't that be like a deal breaker? Kind of like January 6th?
you would think.
And yeah, where you just go, okay, I tell you what, you could believe what you want, but this is unacceptable. And say whatever you want. Of course, those people were quickly forgiven once circumstances.
Yeah, that's the thing. They made it. What do you mean? He spends his days accusing people of crimes that didn't happen, and he has no evidence on them. Like the leader of the free world is just throwing things at the wall at this point.
Yeah.
Like, how is that even a thing? Like, anyone in government shouldn't just lie, but the person who's the head of government definitely shouldn't just lie, lobbing things at people with no evidence. The people clearly didn't do those things, and he just does it with means now. And it's like, this is the world we live in. It's freaking crazy.
No, it's crazy, and it's acceptable by many, many people, which regardless of your politics and your views on policies,
Insane.
ethics and morality, you would have to think, the idea of just treating people like garbage is not really necessarily something that you would want to promote or think. This certainly is not in line with the theme song, the anthem that we had in the late 60s, early 70s. Come on, people now, swing on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love. What happened to that, man? That went right out the window. But with this Rashi Rice, Kansas City Chiefs, does anybody else, I mean, did that not seem like a bit of a light approach? I don't know how much jail time is normally associated with something like this. Some attorney that might be on the chat line that deals with vehicular stuff, motor vehicle penalties and crimes, not impaired, but clearly doing something that is so reckless, you would think that there would be a very deep responsibility that you would have to accept going along with it. Does 30 days of jail time change anything for Rashi Rice, or did he just get tapped with one of the lightest things that possibly could have resulted from the actions that he was pleading guilty to? What do you think, Libby? Does that sound a little light? 5 years probation, that's nothing. Restitution or whatever of I guess he had to pay the medical expenses for a couple of people. That was substantial. But the guy, Rashi Rice, what is he making a year? A few million at the least. He's relatively new, so he's not in that 30 million a year category. But what do you think? I mean, did you see that whole sentence thing? And he's still he's in training camp, serves the 30 days whenever he feels like it, apparently, and is waiting suspension. And this is the big speculation: how many games?
Yeah, that's how people care.
For rendering somebody nearly brain dead.
That's how people care.
Your careless, reckless, selfish actions.
I mean, it was an accident, and accidents happen, but I don't know. The whole thing's murky and weird.
You're driving a $120 on a highway, just clowning around with your friends, having a good time. Does that not bear some measure of responsibility if somebody gets hurt because of that? And I don't know. Look, it pays to have money, right? If that's you or me, we're probably dealing with this for years. We go broke in the process and aren't even capable of paying the penalties that were being assessed here. But so he's in training camp, and that's the big speculation. How many games will he be suspended for?
Oh my God!
That's insane. How about the people that are laying there on some kind of life support there that had serious brain injuries as a result of this thing? Crazy. The work on the Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Lubie, has been suspended because somebody found a noose
Oh,
at the
Jesus.
stadium.
Oh,
This
God.
is Tennessee. So that was an odd. This is the news. The odds and ends that are coming out of the National Football League, 2 weeks before the preseason.
Yeah, the season's going to be here soon. The Hall of Fame game, I think, is like a week or so away.
And then, of course, I don't know. We've been touching maybe a little too heavily on politics here on the show. We haven't really said anything that would I don't think incite people to say, "Hey, I hate your show and I'll never listen again."
Yeah, next Thursday, a week from Thursday, is the Hall of Fame game.
My favorite game of the year.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Take the under, even if it's 0.
exactly. Exactly.
Is there a chance some fourth-string quarterback that's
No.
driving for Amazon is
Yeah.
going to light it up and throw 5 touchdown passes in that game? I would doubt it.
No, never.
The field's always in crap shape.
Yep.
Nobody cares.
Yep.
Are the coaches actually looking at that and going, "Hey, you know what? We need to get some of this on film so we can analyze it." Get
No, not
out of here. But Trump wants to have, and supposedly, I don't know, is this true, Libby, that there was some threat that if they don't change the name, the Washington Commanders, if they don't change the name back to Redskins, which that's a very insulting term if you're talking about Native Americans. Even if you wanted to say, well, the Cleveland Indians wasn't such a bad thing, because at one time, but it would be like having, and I guess, we can say this because it's in the context of the conversation. I mean, if there was a team named the New York Negroes, would people be happy about it? No.
The Negro is not exactly a slur, but it's not a term that many people use.
Come on, it's a disparaging term.
It's not a term.
Implying that you're something other than human.
Exactly.
That you need quantifying.
People, again, the NFL is not only itself a private organization, the teams within the NFL are private organizations. He has no power over it. It makes zero sense.
There's stadium funding involved. And the Commanders are supposed to get the stadium, I guess.
And also, again, these leagues have different kind of tax exempt status of some form. So, yes, the government can meddle at times if they choose to, but it's weird.
That he wants to see that there are going to be consequences.
Yes, you better make that name racist again. Like, come on. Like, how do you sound?
Redskins is not like that was something you would hear in a cowboy movie. And, you're thinking John Wayne is, there he goes again, this racist pig.
Commander's a stupid ass name.
Redskins are coming over the mountaintop now. Like,
yeah, I mean, look,
how is that?
Commanders is a dumbass name. No one's saying it's not. It's a horrendous name. It's stupid from every angle.
Yeah.
But then you go back to the racist name.
Guardians is not a particularly appealing name to somebody that was a baseball fan in the 50s like I was.
No, none of these names are good. But
you have to think twice sometimes to think, oh, yeah, that's a team in Cleveland. Or, when you're saying the Cleveland what's. Commanders, I thought was a really dumb name that they came up with.
It's a dumb name.
But that being said, I mean, they would have been better off just being the Hogs. But that being said, I mean, to go back to naming the team the Redskins after all the flack that there was, I mean, Dan Snyder, blessed racist that he is, and I understand the history and tradition of all of that, but like I said, if it was the New York Negroes and that was the name of the Yankees, and there was some pressure on them to change it, could you ever see them changing it back? No, it's nuts. But that's where we're at today with sports. That was my NFL report. Did you like that, Louie?
Wonderful.
Lions screwed. Rushy Rice, a little slap on the wrist there, and the big concern is not the people that are laying there on. I don't know what their condition. Supposedly, 2 of the people really had like brain injuries or something that were involved in this accident that was caused by Rushy Rice and his buddies. I don't know about the noose thing. Goes back to that whole NASCAR business.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of that. I mean, obviously it's ugliness, but I'm not sure that would be. That's a strange headline to come out of the National Football League. I don't know whether it's not necessarily associated with the NFL because we have no idea what the source of this thing was. Could be some weirdo construction guy or just somebody who happens to be, as we said, a racist pig. And then the thing with the Redskins, how could Roger Goodell not have already come out and said, "Hey, listen, Donnie boy, that ain't happening"?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I just don't know why. I know why I just typed in the chat why, but it's just weird he does this. All the things he talked about on the trail, he doesn't address at all. He just makes them worse, actually.
Yeah.
And now that the big thing's in the news, and that's the only thing that's in the news, he's trying anything he can
Yeah, let's
to
talk
pivot.
about the Redskins.
It's like no one cares, man. Like no one wants them to change the name back to that. Maybe they don't like Commanders, but that's a weird place for
Anything is better than what it was.
No, like the president of the United States shouldn't be talking about it. There's enough going on right now.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Just bombed Iran, and he's worried about whether the Redskins.
Meat prices are up like 100% in the last like 3 months.
Oh my God! I'm glad you brought that up. I was.
It was a big thing. You've been talking about it, but it was actually posted like news articles about it. That it's literally they can put the percent on it. That it's nuts. The prices are up, and there's no reason for it except for like fake tariffs. Like there's no other reason for the prices to go up. Like nothing else has happened. It's just stupid.
I was perusing Publix, right? Yeah, looking for my usual BOGO bargains on stuff that I actually consume. And I'm rolling by the meat section, okay? And a guy actually stops me as I'm going by, and he's pointing to a steak, and he says, "Can you believe this? Can you believe this?" So I'm looking at the price of this steak. It was a fairly substantial steak. I don't know, might have been the highest grade, but one steak, Lubie, in the grocery store, $43. I mean, when you used to, you go to Tropical Acres, get a filet mignon for $43, but one steak in a grocery store was $43. Ground beef was on sale for like $7.50 a pound or $7.70 a pound. Remember when that was like $2?
Yes.
Wasn't that long ago. I mean, I'm not talking about, well, yeah, when you were a kid, Defo.
No. Again, they said
believe to be flat. I mean,
they said prices are up 100% or like some stupid
for a steak in the store
in like 3 months. It's just ridiculous. Like these are things he's not worried about at all. He's worried. He pivots to the dumbest things that like the immigration thing is something that people have moved on from because the way they handled it's disgusting. Like all the stuff that he tries to pivot people's attention to, they're like, dude, we don't care about that. That has nothing to do with our daily lives. Yeah. And just move on. Like it's just so weird. All of it's
well, inflation too. You see the stats and it says inflation's like 0.6% or something, right?
And it was down for 3.
And then you look at that was horrible. I can't believe that. I mean, if you were having a barbecue and you were having like 6 people come to your house and you wanted to grill these steaks, one for everybody, you're talking about an absolute fortune. That's crazy.
Hundreds of dollars.
So no wonder when you go to a restaurant, a steak dinner is like $75.
Yeah, it's not that much more, honestly. Again, that's why we praise Texas Roadhouse because they've had such long-standing relationship with their vendors. They
have their own cows.
They do. They've become sort of impervious to what's going on in the market, which has allowed people to still go save $1 by going and eating there. Because if you try and buy it yourself, good luck. Like, it's ridiculous.
I was astonished, really, to see a $43 price on a steak. And it wasn't like this was some special Wagyu beef that was imported from Japan or whatever and just got there that day because they shipped it fresh. This was, I mean, I don't know what kind of steak it was. Could it have been a ribeye? I'm not even sure. I was so stunned by that price. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And as you said, I mean, look, ground beef used to be what? Like you would pay
something a pound or something.
$3 a pound. Chicken price.
It's like a stick. That's what it was. Ground beef. That is like $6 something a pound.
More than that now. It was on sale at Publix for $7.69.
Oh Jesus! A pound.
A pound. Yeah. A couple of burgers that they're pre-made that I like there. They do a good job with that. But, even those were like $8 for 2 of them. By the way, how is it possible in a restaurant that they advertise a half-pound burger and then it shrivels up and it looks like you got it at White Castle?
That I haven't seen.
Even if it's cooked rare.
That's impressive.
Did they measure that? That happened to me the other day, too.
Quarter pound is one thing, but a half pound should not.
Half-pound burger, and not that it was small, but, I mean, it wasn't. It certainly wasn't a Whopper. Let's put it that way. And cooked like as rare as you could make it. So
yeah, it's
kind of stunned me. I'm wondering what kind of scale they have. Maybe they got one of those scales. It's a lot lighter than it seemed, right? Hey, how did he make weight? I don't know. Don, take your foot off the scale.
Exactly.
Anyone wants to mention a Pacquiao fight? We did at the top of the show. I don't know if he got robbed or not. He got a draw out of the thing. Apparently, he didn't look awful. This guy, Mario Barrios, might have been too much respect for the legend. He didn't really open up until later in the fight. I think he had to win the last 3 rounds. He won on one scorecard, 7-5, 115, 113, and the other 2 judges had it a draw. Pacquiao thought he won, and there was a great, I mean, it literally was a split decision. It was called a majority draw because of the 2 draws versus the one for Barrios. And I would say in the comments I saw in the various threads that I was reading, it was a split decision with the fans as well. Like some were saying Pacquiao got robbed. Others were saying, nope, you're watching the wrong fight. But nonetheless, he made his comeback. Now was that something where the guy just how could you just miss the game when you made like hundreds of millions of dollars? Is he actually broke, Lubie? What do you think? What would many boxers have made comebacks long after, and I saw this, and you should be alarmed by it also, where Sugar Shane Mosley is now coming back to fight at 50. Remember having Sugar Shane on the shows there on Radio Row?
He was done. I felt bad.
Find that he had a little bit of that Tommy Hearns effect.
It was sad. He was definitely slowed down a lot when we got to
We'd ask him about his family. He says, I love being here in February. Like, what? I had no idea what we were talking about. And I was a huge Sugar Shane Mosley fan because, of course, he was one of many great fighters that came from the great fight city of Pomona, California, where I was just outside covering boxing for the highly acclaimed Ontario Daily Distort. It was a neighboring city, and it just happened they had a bunch of fighters that were world-class caliber, and Mosley was one of them, although he came along a little bit later on. And always liked him. He had great style. That Oscar fight was fantastic, but should not be going back. How does somebody sanction this, Libby? Where a guy literally, I mean, shows extreme signs of onset of Parkinson's or some kind of dementia, and is slurring virtually every word, and you're going to sanction this guy to fight? That's insane, man. They really need
a lot.
What athletic commission would give this guy a license? You got to be kidding me.
Boxing.
But Manny seemed to be in full control of his capacity, so I'm assuming we're going to see him fight again. And, of course, the big talk is that they want to rematch him with Money Mayweather,
oh, Jesus,
who has been retired for many years. And I would think that it would be more of the dull sameness that we saw the first time because what is Mayweather going to do? He's a masterful defensive fighter, and he's unlikely to want to get into any exchanges. What is Mayweather now? If Manny's 46, what is Mayweather? Not sure.
He's late 40s for sure, right?
Yeah, but he hasn't fought. I mean, his last fight, wasn't it Conor McGregor? Or no, it was Jake Paul.
48. He fought Paul, like, what, a year or 2 years ago? He's 48
Jake Paul is supposedly going to fight Anthony Joshua, the one-time acclaimed heavyweight, who still may not be totally finished, although he's been getting knocked out right and left by a variety of different guys, including the fat man himself, Andy Ruiz, who no longer is fat, by the way. So he may become a factor in the heavyweight division. But, I mean, Jake Paul, would he not get annihilated? This would be the one that everybody was waiting for, wouldn't it? Supposedly he's accepted the idea of fighting Anthony Joshua, the British heavyweight, who is a monster. There's no way Jake Paul gets out of that one alive unless it's fixed.
I mean I don't know. The fact that he's hovered around this long in boxing is just weird. I know he supposedly takes it serious, and people give him credit for that. I don't care. He's not a boxer. He's yet to fight an actual boxer who was a relevant, let alone good boxer. Like, I haven't paid attention to any of his stuff. And I liked Anthony Joshua for a while there, but you're right, like he was
he's
glass jaw. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, he got knocked out a few too many times to be impressed with, including that Ruiz fight where he was beating the crap out of this guy for a few rounds and then just ran out of gas. The Mayweather-Pacquiao fight would remind me of among the worst sports movies ever made, rivaling one-on-one with Robbie Benson, was Grudge Match with Stallone and De Niro. Was that? I mean,
that's rough. That's
that was a tough view. I mean, even Sarney couldn't have meddled his way through that, although he's not a boxing fan. But
it was rough.
that was up there with $1 Million Baby in terms of being absurd. Horrendous. Southpaw also, where the guy fought right-handed.
Yes.
How bad of a mistake could you make where you're calling the movie Southpaw and the guy's a right-handed fighter? Ridiculous. All right. We explored a lot of ridiculous things here on the show today. That was just to get off the mat here and get our week started. So we'll do it again tomorrow. Should have a lot of fun.
Andy loved grudge match.
Did it win any Oscars?
It was one of the worst movies ever.
The worst movie ever bleeping made.
So bad.
We have to get out of here. Thanks, people, for tuning in. We'll do it again tomorrow. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest. See you next time. As we leave, you know that.
The time.
How about that NFL scoreboard there that I gave? NFL news highlights and headlines. Pretty impressive, Lubie. Redskins coming back. It's 9:02.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my show.